What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Spearhead transmission. It's August 30th, 2017. It's time to break those chains and water that tree.
What's happening? Oh, it's back.
Gotta apologize for last week's show. I was a little sleepy, but I had a Zions at 4 o'clock today, and I'm drinking a Big Q tea, iced tea. I'm probably
So Quick Trip, if you want to sponsor us.
I'm probably maxed out on caffeine.
What are you pushing?
I don't even know.
How much do you bench?
Yeah. I have no idea how much caffeine I consume in a normal day.
You know, I wonder what a normal average person consumes, but then there's 80 milligrams of caffeine per cup of coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I already do that's 320.
This is me in the morning. This is me after Zions.
Well, what? This I'm not gonna make it through this podcast.
Oh, all right. So, 80 and a cup of coffee.
Yeah. So
I usually drink. Well, this morning I had like 4 cups of coffee.
So there's 320.
Sitting in a meeting, and I think there's 160 per serving in a Zions, and there's 2 servings in a can.
So there's 6. Whatever. That's math.
Yeah,
plus that.
This,
See, you're fine. Less than 1,000.
1,000 milligrams of caffeine?
Yeah, but it's got like a half-life like that. I'm not a doctor, and I don't pretend to be one. Sometimes I do.
The thing is there's those old bastards that drink like that oil shop hot coffee all day long.
So that doesn't
smoke cigarettes.
Now that does.
But the brown fingers.
Yes.
Breath smells like complete shit.
I had an algebra teacher. The algebra teacher was our bus driver as well.
Is the YouTube going?
Yeah.
Subscribe below. Click the bell. Swing the balls. You had an algebra teacher that was what?
Oh wait, maybe it is. Nope, it's not. It should be. Yeah, it's streaming.
Gary Busey soundboard sucks. All right.
No, yeah. So my algebra teacher, Mr. Wanhanen.
Mr. What?
Mr. Wanhanen. And that, I tell you what, man, that dude, he wrote on a whiteboard, right? So he had the
dirty marker fingers,
right? Because he'd just wipe it off.
Dude, how do people live like that? I mean,
and his finger, and he had big fingers, right? Like, I don't know, like old dudes have
like
big fingers
stuck to his hand.
Yeah, but and then they had the fingernails that had the waves in them. You know what I mean? Like
ridges, ruffled chips.
Yeah. And then you could tell he smoked like, right? Pounded coffee.
Dude, I don't
even know how long that guy he was probably like 40, but he looked like he was 90.
Well, if you think back in the day, like people that you thought were old are
young
your age, or my age now.
But
you were just like 15 or something, so it seems so much older. But it seemed like people were
they looked older,
a little more, ruffled up or whatever. Like
maybe all those stories about walking uphill to school in the snow too. It was true.
I don't know, like my tech ed teacher in middle school. I mean, he was, in my head, he was like 70, but he's probably like 40 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't have been 70 and teaching. My art teacher was old in high school.
You think kids look at us like that?
Hell yeah, they do.
I don't know though, because I was at that. We went to Oklahoma City to watch that McGregor Mayweather fight with a guy I was in the Army with, and what we're going into the club, this bar, this club.
So why don't you use the regular on me? Damn it. Wrong button.
And so somehow this topic of my age came up, and I was like, I'm 42. This guy was like, what? He's like, damn, man. He's like, you look good for
the
me.
Army?
No, because he's 41. Right?
Mm-hmm.
No, but some other dude that we were, I think we had to do talking about the boxing match and talking about Mike Tyson. And I said that was talking about how this whole match, there's not really been this much hype since like Mike Tyson, right? And this guy probably didn't. I said, you probably never even seen Mike Tyson fight.
To the other dude?
Not to this other guy. This guy, he was like, well, how old are you, man? I was like, I'm 42. And then, so, meaning I look young for my age, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the fucking soundboard messes me up every time.
I know.
It's perfect. Because I start thinking about the movie. But meaning that I don't think that we look as old as the.
Well, I'm a child, basically.
Doesn't mean how we act.
Yeah. Just
how old do we look?
I don't feel like I look old, but I've run into people and we've talked to people together, and be like, "Well, how old are you?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm 37." Like, oh shit, you're my age? Like I thought. You're like 10 years older than me or whatever. You know? And then people that are younger say like, oh, I'm 27. Like, well, I thought we were the same age too, you know what I mean? But like there's some space in there where people go from looking like my age to children. You know what I mean? Like 25 and under, I can't gauge it anymore. It's like
it could be 16.
You look like you're 16 to 25.
Right.
But it's like tonight when we were in the driveway messing around. Casey's hitting the tennis balls to my daughter, and she's hitting them back, right? And she's like, yesterday we were doing it. Mm-hmm. I was out there. I had a string. I always hate when people burp like that in like an enclosed space, like an elevator or in a meeting. You're like sitting there going over something right in your face, and like, fucking angers me. Anyway, we're out there. I'm fucking messing with this string and this branch to lift this antenna up in my yard to mess with. And I mean, we've said it before, and you're like, you feel like if, you know, your dad, you're at the age that you are now, saw you are, he'd like,
whoop your ass.
Yeah, the toys out here. Like, you know,
they've already built full engines.
Yeah.
With it.
Like built the railroad to the western part of the United States before it was purchased from the Mexicans. Like, man,
exactly. Your history is perfect.
I'm playing with toys, you know, buying shit I don't need. It's weird.
I agree.
It's weird. I think that's part of the reason that you feel like you don't look as old as people, because there are some people that take life like extremely serious, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they look old, but what is that? Remember that movie Big? Like they say the only way to enjoy life is to basically act like a kid. You know? That's what I took from that movie anyway.
I mean, our lifestyle affords us that at somewhat, right? And we're fortunate to be where we are.
Because we make millions on podcasting?
Yeah, because we're the world's greatest podcast of all time, at least for 33 years running, right?
I was listening to The Dog Pound on the way over here.
What's that?
Dog food.
Is it Snoop Dogg's podcast?
No, The Dog Pound.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Huh. I used to listen to this in high school. You know what's crazy? Just watch. I'm trying to get my, like I said, all summer I've been battling my yard, trying to get my yard to look good.
The dirt fest.
Yeah, and it's actually been good, but Mother Nature's been a big part of it because it's been fucking raining all the time.
Yeah. Oh, so it's
Oregon,
is it solid now?
I mean, the new part is, but my old part's got like shit. I mean, you can see net from where sod used to be there showing. There's rocks and stuff. So I was reading. You can't seed in the middle of July and August, right? So I've been reading and talking to landscapers and shit, and you know, they said you need to aerate your yard and then
poke holes,
come back and disperse mulch, rake it in, seed it, rake it in, and then water it. So I'm like, all right. So I watched some videos on YouTube on how to do that. And fucking YouTube videos on how to build a lawn, like fucking millions of views. And we get like 60 on these fucking things.
Yeah.
So people would rather watch grass
fucking
podcast YouTube videos. It blows my mind.
Well, we're not offering anything that's of real importance. I want to Sounds like a car crash in my headphones. I do want to thank. So we recently had our fortunes told on another podcast or on another YouTube channel 27, because we begged to have them read.
Dude.
Right?
What do you need us for?
Exactly. This is going to be
fucking can the YouTube people
if they can't,
can you hear the soundboard?
If they can't, they need to tune into the Libsyn channel. Anyways, so I want to thank both Heidi and Jenny from Channel 27 for basically telling the world that they confirmed your doo-doo porn addiction.
A doo-doo porn addiction.
Uh-huh. And
Correct.
that I'm the smart, intelligent, handsome one.
Did I tell you that doo-doo story? I clicked on something the other day.
I think you texted it to me.
Yeah. I got to tell this story.
All right.
This would probably be embarrassing to a lot of people, but I don't. Like, this reminds me of something if I was running for president. Like, did you ever watch that poop porn video? Like, yeah, watch it. What's your fucking point?
Okay.
And, okay.
No, yeah. You stone cold them.
So, I don't remember how I got to where I was, but anyway, there was a picture of a lady, or a video of a lady, like, peeing. It looked like she was peeing on the ground, right?
Okay.
And no one's going to believe me, but I seriously was like, what the fuck kind of toilet is that?
Uh-huh.
So I clicked on
Squatty potty.
And no, it was a hole in the ground, right?
Oh, okay.
This is like a foreign country.
All right.
But she's I mean,
Were you viewing this on Pornhub?
I know they're white
or
people
X Hamster
in other
or whatever
parts
it
of
is.
the world, but she was a white lady, right?
Uh-huh.
So I thought, well, that's America. It wasn't America. Anyway, the point, I don't know where it was. It may have been like Live Leak or something, because it wasn't
Marketed
porn.
towards
it wasn't
porn.
like, hey, I'm looking at porn now, so this won't be a surprise.
Right.
I was watching it, and this lady starts peeing, and I was like, God dang, there's a lot of piss. Looked like a horse peeing in a pasture, right? And then all of a sudden, just starts pooping. And, yeah, I guess the surprise of the whole thing and not knowing where I was at, and I guess the initial, like, curiosity surrounding the toilet and not, preparing myself to see a lady take a dump on a video. It really
Was it
fucked
solid?
me up. Kind of, but
I mean, if it's solid, then it's not as. It's not as.
I don't like being tricked like that.
Yeah. If it's solid, then it's more like documentary style. But if it's like that one video that you showed me a long time ago, with the Japanese one with the chair and the funnel.
That's the worst.
Yeah, we ain't gonna
talk about that. It's making me.
That was really bad.
I don't even understand how I came across that either.
That's the Mikey days.
That's making me feel uneasy. But this one, I mean, it wasn't that gross.
Mm-hmm.
But
fix your camera.
Like I said, I don't like being
just touch it and stuff.
I don't like being tricked. If it would have said, "Hey, this lady takes a dump on camera,"
okay,
probably
good.
wouldn't have bothered me as much as just like, whoa. But anyway, that's that.
Being tricked because what happens?
But turns out, according to Tarot,
yeah,
I like doo-doo videos.
Is that what it said? I couldn't tune in.
So
I didn't even know because I wasn't getting texts.
There were a couple readings. You got your birthday reading done first.
You're fading like the Back to the Future. Your parents need to start fucking again in the 1950s or whenever it was.
So you got your numbers read at first, right?
Yeah.
And then, which seemed pretty legit.
My numbers. Did they give me a lucky number?
No. Then something happened. Then there was some tarot reading going, which was mine, I think.
See, the universe didn't want me to know.
So the tarot readings seemed legit. And then they did my number readings, and that lady had to stop because, like, suspicion confirmed I'm the fucking Antichrist or whatever.
Might be.
Yeah.
You or Jared Kushner. I mean, just think about this.
She's like, I can't read this online. Like, I was terrified. Like,
think about the notoriety we would get.
Tomorrow?
Think about the notoriety you would get if you were the Antichrist. I mean, this podcast would be enormous.
Go on.
They'd be like, it's confirmed. He's brought peace to the Middle East.
Dude, if I was the Antichrist, I wouldn't be drinking iced tea from Quick Trip. I'll tell you that. I'd be drinking
Blood.
something else. Frosty.
Blood Frosty from Quick Trip.
You think the Antichrist would be like a real asshole? Or you think
No,
just
he'd be
like,
nice. Sweet.
Like probably like
Probably want to hang out with him.
nice guy. Quit
He's-
giving me all this stuff.
Yeah. Just
Oh,
smile.
We've said before, like we've never even had the opportunity to turn down any sort of like blood pact with any
Blood
kind of
rituals.
satanic or lizard people for this
mean,
podcast to go off and become like Kardashians.
You know, I think that might be because we offended the head of the Satan church.
Fucking guy's a child molester, isn't he?
Not that one.
No.
The other one. That was the Church of Angraman U.
Mind if I have
Not-
a drink of your delicious beverage?
Yeah. Damn, Jimmy. Some gourmet.
Shit.
That might have been.
That was Satan right there.
Uh-huh.
Fucking get me with the ice. We
Don't
had
be
the
talking-
head of the satanic church on this podcast.
We had two. We had.
one of them was a child molester.
Right. That was the one from Angraman U. We didn't know that, right? We didn't know he was.
Not until
Otherwise-
after.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Isn't he dead now? Did he get shot or something?
Probably. The other one, though. Lucian Greaves. Remember the guy that
Not
was.
head of the Satan church. He's just head of the fucking. I'm gonna try to piss everyone off.
He was head of the Church of Satan.
Hmm.
Remember? He's the guy that was getting the statue of Baphomet. That's
Yeah, but
probably
I didn't
why.
think he was-
We're not going to get into the club.
I didn't think he was head of the satanic church though.
Spokesperson, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, he started his own church. Do you not? You don't remember any of this?
I remember.
He's
Lucian
got
Graves
one
'cause he got a
cuckoo
fucking
eye.
crazy eye, right?
Yeah. Do you think that? All right, I got a question about that because we didn't ask him, but do you think that like he had the cuckoo eye first, or he got the cuckoo eye and then, or he got the cuckoo eye after he got his maybe his name? Like, what I'm trying to say is, did his eye
become
cause
possessed?
him? No, was the catalyst for him to become, take on that persona. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how some people, like, look at all those fucking juggalos, right? I'm not trying to compare the juggalos to the guy. I don't want any
juggalos
like
had a,
voodoo curses. Do you know what I'm saying though? But like, there's these people, and if there are any juggalos that are our fans, fucking grow up. Stop listening to.
I think.
No, we like all the juggalos.
Let's say there's that Insane Clown Posse party here a couple weeks ago in Oklahoma City, like the annual festival. Did you know that?
Uh-huh.
I wanted to go. I was out of town.
What?
I would have gone to that just to see the people.
Hold on. So there was an Insane Clown Party posse here, or Insane
Festival.
Festival?
Yeah.
It was a Juggalo festival?
Yeah, and an ICP said the Oklahoma City police weren't inviting or something, so they're not gonna ever come back here again. Yeah, it was like a huge festival. They had like clowns circus and like
Where everybody wearing Jinkos?
They had a seminar.
Fucking hair braided. A seminar? What
They had seminars. Yeah, it said the seminar tent. or
Motivational speaker from the
I don't know. I don't know what kind of seminar you learn at a Juggalo festival, but I seriously would have gone.
how to
that.
throw Fago on people.
Can you imagine the people that you would have seen there? Like that would have been.
That's what I'm trying to say. So, are the people like? Here's the deal. You know how because people get stuff that's fucked up with them, right? Like I could have become a juggalo after I got my nose hurt, right? Because I had something wrong with me.
You don't have to have something wrong to become a Juggalo.
Like it makes you withdraw, right? What I'm getting at is there's got to be some. You mean you just become a juggalo?
Yeah, you just like Insane Clown Posse enough that
Oh.
big pants,
Fat stomach.
like a shitty beard,
Most are fat, right?
and have like that thin beard. I don't want to throw all Juggalos in a group, but
They got the chin strap beard.
no, just that
Wispy beard?
Long,
What are you
you
saying?
could
So
make
I could be a juggalo.
Yeah, perfect.
It's the Asian pubes beard.
You gotta say, know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying.
We just one big family. Juggalos. Every time we touch feet,
I know,
fucking
dude.
grosses
And
me out.
you got bare feet right now. It's freaking me out. You're ghosting.
It's a moon landing. All right, so I had an introduction thing here. I ruined it. I feel bad talking about the
Juggalos?
doo-doo video there.
Oh, I want to apologize to all the juggalos out there.
I want to apologize for that doo-doo video talk.
Why? Why you
Just
don't?
surprised me. All right, here we go. I got something here I want to talk about. So the eclipse happened. What was that? Last week?
Mm-hmm.
Week before?
Last week on the
Did you watch it?
21st. Yeah, I did.
Did you look at it? So I'm jogging. I'm running at lunch.
It looks weird, right?
It's hot as shit out. Yeah, it's silvery.
Uh-huh.
Hot as shit out. I was like, God dang, running during the eclipse. I was expecting to be a lot more cool.
Uh-huh.
I see this guy walking down this path where I'm running. And I thought he was doing yoga. He's got his hands above his head. He's leaning way back. And I run past him. And he looked at me. We kind of, just made eye contact. I kept running. I go up to where I turn around, come back. And he's there again. And then I noticed he's looking at the sun with no sunglasses, like nothing on, right? And he's got his hands up. And I said, is anything happening? He's like, yeah, it's partially over it. So I turn around. I just try to glance at it, to see if I can see anything. I can't see shit. It's like a big-ass bright light. He's like, you can't look at it. I've been trying to get my eyes used to it for like the past 30 minutes. I was like, oh, shit.
This guy, what?
So then I see this report on Fox News. It says health professionals report cases where people put sunscreen on their eyeballs to watch the eclipse. Health professional in California reported cases where eclipse viewers sought medical treatment because they put sunscreen on their eyeballs to view last week's solar eclipse.
Are you serious?
One of my colleagues, they had patients presenting at their clinic that put sunscreen on their eyeball and presented that they have pain and referred to as an ophthalmologist. Doctors in Virginia reported patients did the same thing. So there was more than one person that did that. That should scare you, for one, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Because
people are putting
walking around. These are your coworkers. These are your neighbors.
I gotta
like putting sunblock on.
Got a picture.
Like conjunctivitis. You got a welding helmet? No, man. No, I'm good. I got SPF 50. It fucking burns. Second thing I get about this. How many times are we going to have a once in a lifetime opportunity to view an eclipse?
What? We had 38 years ago?
You remember in 1993 or 94 there was an eclipse?
Wasn't this one though?
Yeah, I was outside. It was dark as hell outside in
Really?
Oklahoma.
84?
94. It was middle school.
Really?
Kids brought welding hoods to school to look at it. We had little viewers. We looked up and looked at it. And
Are you serious?
Yeah, it got dark. And I remember them saying, you'll never see something like this in your life again. And then here it is.
Mandela affecting us.
2017, and it happens again. And they're just like those moons. I get up at 3 in the morning and go out and look at the lunar eclipse, right?
Remember the super moons?
There's been 2 lunar eclipses where I've gotten up at 3 in the morning because it's like the last chance you'll see this until like I'm 280 or something, which is possible in the future when I become synced up to a machine, right?
Yeah. Okay. This is great. That's a great point. So, because now that you're saying this, yeah, it won't be that long till, especially if you are the Antichrist, that you'll be hooked into that machine.
Go on.
So it says during a 5,000 year period this is from NASA now, which I don't trust anything now from them, right? Can't. During a 5,000 year period from 1999 to 3,000 plus, means 2000 BCE to 3000 CE.
Hey, when they go from BC to BCE?
What is BCE? Before Christ era or
Before current era.
before current era?
BC used to be before Christ, right?
Oh, I don't know when
Didn't
they
it?
did that. Yeah, I don't. And then what's CE is current era?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, that makes sense.
What's AD?
Ante Domingo. Before Monday.
What? What is AD? All right, go ahead and read your thing.
Earth will. Monday is. What's Domingo?
Sábado Domingo. I don't know.
Sábado Domingo.
Monday's Lunas.
Lunas. So it's Sunday. Domingo.
AD?
What's Domingo?
2017 AD.
Yeah, I know. What does it mean? What's Domingo in Spanish? It's Sunday.
What are you saying?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying. Earth will experience 11,898 eclipses of the sun. The statistical distribution of eclipses types. I think you're right, dude. Maybe it was not that it's a full or a total eclipse, right?
I don't know.
Fuck it, I don't know. It's too much work to figure it out. I
The
think.
terms Anno Domini and BC before Christ are used to label or number years in the Julian and Gregorian calendars.
So
The term
anno means
Domini,
year.
Domini is medieval Latin and means in the year of the Lord, but is often translated as in the year of our Lord.
There you go.
I'm going to start saying this at the beginning of the podcast. Anno Domini.
Domingo is Sunday.
Yeah, but what the fuck does that have to do with any of this?
That's the day of the Lord,
In the year of our Lord.
right?
Sunday.
Doesn't mean does dude, this is a Domingo is a Sábado Domingo
I
means
thought-
it's a Sabbath. It's the day of the Lord. It's rest. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making stuff up.
Yeah, we're not even talking about Spanish.
Domingo.
There you go.
Sunday.
You're making me angry.
We're with Latin. It's Latin.
Yeah, not Spanish. I
Spanish is
I thought
based
AD
off of a Latin. Is based off Latin.
thought AD meant after death, like one of the comments, and then BC was before Christ. So BC, he dies after death.
The year of Sunday, for fuck's sake.
It makes sense.
It's a year of. All right.
5 meter spread. No sound.
All right. So, I mean, seriously. So I didn't listen to anything you said about the eclipse.
It just means there's a lot of them.
Then why do they keep telling us they're once in a life? So people get out and get interested in science instead of watching.
So they go out and
TV?
burn their fucking eyes.
Put some sunblock on these motherfuckers. Be all right. Let me get my eyes used to it by just staring at it.
It's not like being in the dark. Well,
Dude, I couldn't believe it. But it was it was hot that day, and I started running with one of those hill people
yeah.
pouches,
I want to get one.
chest pouch with a pistol in it.
I don't want one that's so
Seen-
tactical looking.
They have a different color, but they were all sold out. And I like everything I buy, I needed it now. So they only have
That's the same
colors
as
that
me.
were needed or available now were coyote, which I couldn't do coyote because that's too tactical.
So what
And
did
they
you
had-
do?
They had green and or what'd they say? Foliage green and foliage gray. So I was like, oh, that won't be too bad. It
So
doesn't
did
look
you do
real
the
tactical.
foliage gray?
I feel like when I see it, I'm like, that dude's got a gun on him.
That's what I mean. I don't want it to be like that because I want to wear it whenever I go to like Eureka Springs or whatever, right?
I wouldn't do that. It almost feels like it almost
feel like
feels
a cop?
No, I mean, it almost feels like fucking plates or something. I mean, it sets
How
up-
big is it?
It's like this big. It's like a pencil pouch from a trapper keeper strapped to your chest with a pistol in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I'm not getting it. I need to get a bigger fanny pack and just use that so I look just like a
Just like a fucking
just like that green one that I have. But
middle-aged dad.
yeah, with a fanny pack, I look non-threatening.
A guy I was
Covert.
in the Navy with used to carry a pistol in a fanny pack. And He could
flip
drop
open
it forward, and pull that gun out quick.
just like on the Dusk Till Dawn.
That'd be ideal, is to have a cod piece with a revolver attached to it. No, so I was running with that thing, and for whatever reason, that added weight and bouncing around is killing me.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it hurting your lower back?
No, it's
like breasts.
tiring. Yeah, it's like I got a huge set of tits when I'm running. But every time I pass on, I'm like, they've got to know.
Yeah.
This is a pistol, but I don't think they do. I don't think the majority of people do. At least the people that I've passed.
Maybe it's a
don't.
snack pack.
I think they just think it's some sort of like running shit, Like, oh, I got my.
You know what you could do is paint like some kind of Iron Man thing on the front of it, and you'll look. Oh, it's just he just likes.
They won't know what Iron Man is.
Who?
Whoever I run into out there, like, fucking most of those people don't even speak English.
They've seen the movie. You put a big white light on in front of it, like it's your.
Who do you think you are, Iron Man? You fucking retarded. Don't fuck with me, man. I'll shoot you. All right. Go to the hot zone. Play a commercial. Wait, before we go to the hot zone.
Okay.
So all the time we talk about specialty shops like gun stores and four-wheel drive and model airplanes and the people that work there. And here's a perfect example. I had one today.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually dickheads, right? So
yes.
So I went today in Tulsa, Oklahoma. These guys don't have any clue I'm doing this, and they don't sponsor the show and have no ties there. But I went to this place, Midwest Expedition Outfitters in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They're on 11th Street because I heard some dude stop me at a taco stand and asked me how long I've had my green Land Cruiser. I was like, I haven't seen it around. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Haven't seen it around, And this is a Land Cruiser shop. So they've seen a lot of them. Well, they got like pristine one in the showroom, and they've got all kinds of shit there, right? All Land Cruisers. So I walk in there totally expecting to get this typical. Dude, there were people, they're coming out looking at my truck, the white one. I mean, it's not the green. I can understand, but looking at the green one, like, oh yeah, just a nice truck. We did this. Hey, we did this. Look at his truck. We did it. Put this in here. Showed me his personal vehicle, the motor swapping in it, some trailers in the back, another vehicle that he's thinking about fixing, all the stuff inside. Gave me some torque specs on shit that I'm gonna do. I didn't purchase a thing there. Like, I didn't buy anything. I mean, I'm probably gonna go back and get something done there.
Yeah.
Because of
because of that
customer service. But I mean, it was amazing.
So they only do Land Cruisers.
No, they do. Fuck did that go? They do.
What happened?
All kinds of four-wheel drive, but I think they a lot of the stuff.
Starting to disappear again.
A lot of the stuff they do is Toyota related. Okay. But there was a Range Rover in the shop. He said he's been doing it for 15 years, but I haven't even heard of it. But they've got knives in there. They've got radios. They got rooftop tents. They've got fucking those ARB refrigerator freeze. They've got all kinds of shit, And it wasn't like Sam's Off-Road where you walk in there like, you don't even know what you're doing in here. It was just the complete opposite how I expected. And then, so he's like, hey, man, you need to replace your belts. They're a little dried out on the truck, right? So I was like, okay. So I've got a guy that I used to buy stuff from all the time in New Mexico, and he'd give you a pretty good discount because he was on a forum I'm on, and he's like super knowledgeable. The guy is, you could tell him like, hey, I need a gasket for a 73 Toyota Land Cruiser for this. And he was like, okay, that's part number one. I mean, he'd pull it off the top of his head, and he's like, when you replace that, you're going to need to put these two washers. You're going to replace those. He's real, like...
Yeah, spot on, knew exactly what he's doing.
Didn't joke around. He's like, $24.95 to your door with your discount on, whatever. It's $19.99. You want Visa? Like, yeah. I mean, he's quick, but he's a good guy, right? So I called that number a couple weeks back to get plugs and wires and all that because I was going to try to keep everything Toyota. And I got the parts department, and I asked for him, and he said he retired. So some other guy helped me. He was good. So today I called that number again. I was just going to order belts.
Yeah.
And which I guess I could have bought them from this guy. He's so nice, but so the guy, I go, hey, I need like belts for a 97 Lexus LX 450 or whatever, and he's like, we don't sell Lexus stuff. I was like, well, just 97 Land Cruiser then. Those are different. Like, no, they're not. I mean,
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm pretty sure they are. Like, okay, well,
Okay, you don't want my business. Fuck off then. I'm going somewhere else.
For a 97 Land Cruiser. That's what I'm looking for then. Forget I said Lexus. And he's like, okay, hang on. And you can tell he's bothered, right?
Right.
And I this isn't a guy I talked to before. So I can hear people talking in the background to the point I was about to hang up. I was like, hello. He comes back on. He's like, it's $8.95 for something and then $19 for the other. And I was like, $8.95 for what? And he said, he's all bothered still, right? $8.95. And I said, okay, well, go ahead and I'll order it. He's like, are you wanting to mail it? Me to mail it to you? Like, yeah. Well, mail or shipping is going to be $15. Like, forget it, man. Fuck off. Or I didn't say fuck off. I just hung up. Like, do you not? Is your job as a parts salesperson
to run people off?
Parts,
yeah.
Or are you supposed to like, hey, I don't want to sell this to you. We're gonna make zero money because I'm just gonna fucking argue with you.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't get why people are that way.
He could have been completely different and said like, hey, this is probably gonna cost close to $15. I can see if we have a different way to ship it, but it's gonna be kind of high considering the belts are $19. I mean, I'd probably be like, it's cool, man. I want to keep it Toyota or whatever. It'll probably be that much with the shipping at the dealership here in Tulsa, so it's fine. But instead, you're just going to be fucking...
Wow, shipping is going to be way more.
Yeah, like, all right, well, keep your fucking belts then. I'll get them somewhere else.
Hey, Steve, I did it. I got to keep them. They're still staying here.
Did you sell those belts? No. Oh, thank God. We really need to hold on to those 97 Land Cruiser. Oh, LX 450 belts. All right.
Who is the world going to end?
Who? Was Bjorn still on here?
I don't know.
Is this on? This isn't on, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they can hear you.
The commercial sounds a little robotic.
It does. I had to read it. That's why.
Robots.
It's my robot voice. It does sound robotic.
Yeah.
I got it.
And as
always, we'd like
enjoy
to.
the rest of the show.
It's my teleprompter.
So this first article is from the Huffington Post. Says Trump orders military to give cops free grenade launchers, bayonets, and tanks. So we've gone back, right? So during the Obama administration after Ferguson, they got rid of the where they used Department of Defense equipment to local police departments for like pennies on a dollar. So Oklahoma, we have a few MRAPs in local jurisdictions that police use, right?
For flood victims.
Flood victims. So I want to ask you, have you seen any MRAPs being used in Houston saving people?
I've seen.
You couldn't pay me to get in a fucking MRAP and drive through that flood water. You know what I mean?
What I have seen is not MRAPs, but what I have seen is people with their with personal vehicles, kind of like old boy out at the running guns. I'm not gonna say, I don't want to say his name because I don't. But that has not an MRAP, but has a big.
Oh yeah.
Right. I've seen those out driving around picking up people, but not. It wasn't military or it wasn't cops. It was actual people that using their own stuff, which was cool.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, but
no, I haven't seen any.
I've never seen an MRAP being used in flood control like that.
No.
Every time they say they need them,
Yeah.
So anyway, so President Donald Trump will repeal restrictions that former President Barack Obama placed on police access to access military gear, allowing the federal government to immediately resume handing out free bayonets, grenade launchers, tracked armored vehicles, and other equipment to law enforcement departments across the country.
Charles Scott from the YouTube one of our he's saying his name is Charles Scott, so but one of the YouTube commenters says exactly, the fuck does a cop need a bayonet for? And then somebody else says hippies. It's terrible.
Here's the thing, like I want all that shit too.
Yeah.
Can I get it?
But
for pennies on the dollar?
But remember, you say this all the time, and you do a good job of it. Just think, what will the next group use it for?
Exactly.
Just here's a perfect example. Look in Venezuela right now. Just look at how fucked up it is in Venezuela, and it's not to say that it wasn't fucked up before, but now you as a citizen, you didn't really have any rights before, but now they just fucking murdering people.
Well, see, and everyone, a lot of Trump's
any political opposition,
like, oh yeah, about time, we're gonna, you're just gonna start getting things back in line now, and those are the same people that were saying when Obama, he's gonna round us all up for being constitutionalists or whatever,
mm-hmm.
And then we're going back to like, well, let's arm the shit out of these people with all this stuff so
they can round you all up.
I mean, all those pictures
I ain't gonna round up us. We're constitutionalists. Yeah, well, the next guy might.
Yeah, all those pictures you see after that Boston Marathon bombing. The what was that? California, Berkeley, not Berkeley. What was the one? It looked like fucking Afghanistan. Tanks on the streets. Everyone out there in camis and shit. The Ferguson stuff,
mm-hmm.
and
Baltimore stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what you want about it, I guess. But there needs to be a distinct line in my eyes between local police and the fucking military, right?
Yes.
I mean, otherwise, I mean, there's laws in place to keep the military from being activated within the United States, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, but how that we know how laws work anymore, right? Yeah. It's like a executive order after executive order. So I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just getting the hands into getting more weaponry into the hands of authoritarians that localized authoritarians, right? That wouldn't have that capability without the federal tax dollars, right? Funding it. I don't know.
This Vanita Gupta said, safeguards are reasonable. Police departments don't need grenade launchers and bayonets to protect our communities. They should have the appropriate training for the equipment they use, and federal government should have checks and accountability measures for law enforcement, certain military equipment. So, and that's the thing too, is anytime you try to talk to someone about this, they'll be like, well, remember that shootout in California? Those guys had those AK-47s? Like,
yeah, that's always the one that everybody goes to, right?
What else?
Yeah. And what?
Remember Malvo?
Oh, she don't see the light that's shining deep within.
It's your
on a poop video.
It's your next story. I was getting prepped.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
how would John Lee Malvo or Johnny Muhammad or whatever they called him, right?
Is that guy alive?
There's two, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but how would tanks and stuff like that stop that from happening?
Wouldn't.
That's right.
Wouldn't. All right. What's the next one?
Next one. Alicia Cara ripped off her hair and makeup mid-performance at the VMAs. It's yours, right?
Yeah, I don't.
HuffPost.
This does make me feel old because I don't know who have to. It said these people wore crazy outfits to the VMAs. I didn't know who anybody was.
Yeah, I don't watch the VMAs.
The popularity of looking like shit is getting on my nerves. You know what I mean?
What's the? I didn't. What? So what was?
She's trying to point out.
I read it, but I
know that she's beautiful in her skin, which I'm sure she is, and I'm sure whoever she's dating or gonna date or whatever she decides to do in her life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they find her, attractive without makeup. Like I've always found in the past, like with my wife, like I like her without a lot of makeup on, right? So this is supposed to, show like women can be beautiful, however they are naturally, not try to meet society's standards of beauty. But what's getting me is society somehow, and I guess people in general, think that just fucking painting on the war paint now, to where, I mean, there's video tutorials of like how to put shades of different colors of base on before you even start makeup, to where the person looks completely different when they take their makeup off, right? I don't get it. Like I don't know.
But wait, all right, so I'm confused. So there is this phenomenon or whatever phenomena of yeah, like embracing ugly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this one. Then the other side of it though is like do your makeup like Kim Kardashian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one is trickery, but that doesn't go against nature. Okay,
Used to be somebody I could trust.
right? That doesn't go against nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, like, so if you're with your wife, right? Or whoever, what I'm trying to say, where I'm going with this is there's a natural attraction at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's beauty that you're drawn to, right? Immediately, like initially the attraction. It's not like how do I say this? It's not like you established anything before you were initially attracted to that person. Most likely, right? Like you didn't even know who that person was, but the fact that you were attracted to them, you went and talked to them. Most people, that's how they meet, right? Like as far as dating, like, and if you're not at work or whatever, right? You
find them physically attractive.
You find somebody physically attractive,
Yeah.
and then you go on a date, right?
Yeah.
Simple, right? That's natural, right? Is that not natural?
Yeah.
Okay. So where I'm going with this is that so all those people that put on that ton of that makeup, which is a phenomenon of trickery, right? But it's natural for them to do that, right? Because they want people to they want to be attractive to everybody, right? Now, this other group of people that are like, they've got all this makeup on and then they tear it off. Well, the deal is that
It's like having two girlfriends.
the deal is that if they're tricking you, I lost where I was going with it. What I was trying to say is that you love that person regardless of their makeup, right? After you've established this relationship, and regardless of that, like if your wife wasn't as attractive as she is, right, without her makeup on, right, you still love her, and it doesn't mean any it's no difference, right? Because you've established that relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, these other people, it's like it's a whole bunch of horse shit is what they're doing, right? Like saying, well, you just need to love us for who we actually are. It's like they want to have their cake and eat it too. We have no personal relationship with these performers, right? It's like peacocks up there. You just want to see the peacocks doing their thing. You don't really give a shit about what they truly look like, right?
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what Nicki Minaj looks like other than when she's made up, right? It's not like I have a personal relationship with her. It's not like that. I don't care who give me some other good-looking women.
Susan Sarandon.
I don't care. I don't care what Susan Sarandon looks like without her makeup on. Right?
But here's the thing.
Don't force me to.
Here's the thing about all that is
Nicki
Minaj didn't.
I mean,
she became popular because she makes shit music, right? And has a big ass.
Yeah.
She didn't become popular because she wears fucking sweatpants and no makeup.
That's what I'm trying to say.
If you want to become popular by wearing sweatpants and no makeup, then fucking do it. Don't make it big being like hot and then scrub it off and be like, this is me.
That's what I'm saying, is that they want you to love them for whatever their true persona is, right?
Yeah.
Like and
That-
don't be
that no one does.
don't be pissed at us if we don't.
I got a perfect. It's like that. It's like that Simpsons episode where Bart says, "I didn't do it," and they take him on TV and he wants to talk about like environmental problems or whatever. And all they want him to say is the fucking line, "I didn't do it." Like no one gives a shit about what you're thinking. That's what gets me when people are like George Clooney says Donald Trump's not fit to be president. Like who the fuck? George Clooney. Guy plays fucking movies for a living.
Right. So George Clooney has just as much. So George Clooney and I should be weighted the same as anybody else, right? George Clooney is the same as anybody else, but because George Clooney says it, he's got his, his influence, right? Doesn't mean that he's any more intelligent than the next person. That's the thing. But people, you're exactly right. They think that they have this authority because they operate in the, maybe not, maybe they don't, but I believe that they do.
So when I was growing up, I always remember teachers asking like, like who are your idols or who are your
Evil fucking Knievel was
idols
when I was
the other
little.
word they used? I can't remember. Anyway,
Role model.
Yeah. Like who are? And when I was a kid, I had the hardest time saying who my fucking role model was.
Who was it?
I don't remember who I put down because I probably just fucking lied. Like Colonel Sanders, or
He likes chicken.
yeah, like that fucking extra tasty crispy's good shit. But like what is a role model? Like, so I was reading when I was thinking about this, is I was reading Charles Barkley was talking about the whole Confederate statue thing, right? And I guess he would post it on Twitter or something, Instagram. I don't know what it was. He's like, I'm not a role model. I'm not a role model for your children.
Right. That's what he said a long time ago, right?
Because your kids are not going to, more than likely, not going to become professional, sports.
Fucking parents should be their role model.
Yeah, exactly. Your parents, but
think about that for a minute.
But teachers back in the day would say like, oh, don't you have like some sports guy or, some movie star? Like, okay, so if I put Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, if Arnold Schwarzenegger came out and said, I don't like Snickers, like I'm not all of a sudden be like, you know what? I fucking love Snickers, but since he doesn't, I don't.
Yeah, no, I get it. You know what? When you think about it, like what does role model actually mean though? What is it? Is it like you're just think of what it is? Role model. Like you're playing a part, right? Like whose part do you want to play when you grow up? Who do you want to model your part after? Your
Sho Kosugi.
There you go. So I think that's it. The nature of it actually is
professional ninja.
That the nature of that actual word, role model, right? Like that's a dumb phrase now that I think about it. Like people that you look up to should be like if people's parents were more involved in their kids' life. Like instead of this, like here, what's wacky to me is so many people say, oh, America's trying to subvert the family. America's trying to subvert the family. The politicians are trying to do that. Then fucking do something about it. Like get involved in your kid's life. Don't fucking plop them down in front of the television every chance you get. Don't you know what I mean? Don't you put them in a school where you actually have some say about what they're learning. Change it. The problem is that too many people are too lazy to fucking do it, is what it is. And they don't really give a shit about it. And then they say, oh, and then they wonder why fucking their kids' role models are out banging hookers and snorting coke off of their hip bones, right? Like, and then their kids are like, oh, yeah, that's cool. It's just practice. I don't know. I'm a bit. Did I lose you?
No.
Do you agree?
Yes. People should be involved in their kids' lives. I don't know. I don't want to say that role models aren't important, but I don't think it should be like some sports star, like Nolan Ryan, Jose Canseco.
I mean, I get it. Like so say that
Brett Favre.
Say that you're good at something like that, right? And you say, oh, hey, their work ethic is something
Norris.
that you could really learn from, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, these guys, they fucking work hard. So, if you want to do that, maybe if you can read a book about them, but doesn't mean that they're your role model, right? Like, that's not like, yeah, take from it, right? I don't know. Yeah, Charles Scott says that he makes his kids watch Spearhead Transmission. These fucking kids are going to be
are role
ruined.
models, yeah.
Ruined.
Dad, I want to watch fucking videos of someone taking a dump. You got it, kid. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that role models aren't important, like I said, but it should
Colonel Braddock.
should be in the family.
You think you could eat a rat like that? Hanging upside down with a bag over your head and a rat in it?
Fuck yeah. I can beat up a chimpanzee.
Yeah, well, that's yet to be determined. It's like, what about a black bear?
A black bear will fuck you up.
See, this is yeah, they will. They will, because you know what happens to people whenever they get attacked by a black bear?
They get eaten.
They think, you know what they think they're supposed to do? You're right. They get eaten. Why do they get eaten?
Because I think they should lay there?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I'll be fucking eye gouging a black bear.
what do you do when a grizzly bear attacks?
Lay there.
That's right. Damn, you're fucking smart. You would not get eaten by a brown bear you wouldn't get eaten by it either.
Run faster than them. And I'm going to have a gun on me.
You probably get fucked up by a grizzly bear if you try to outrun it.
I can't imagine. I don't think I could be one of those people that they say when you come face to face with them, you just stand there and try to be as big as possible. Be big.
Grizzly bear?
Be big. Fuck.
Hey, bear. Hey, bear.
I saw.
Hey, bear.
Yeah, I saw a video of a guy walked up on a grizzly in Alaska. He had his girlfriend or wife with him. He had a pistol.
Uh-huh.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I was in grizzly country, I'd want like a sawed-off shotgun or a blunderbuss. Like
something.
Fucking belly gun. I'm not doing any aiming when that thing's running.
No, yeah, you want it to just.
I want to be, But anyway, he's that bear is like walks out and it's I don't know how many yards away it is, pretty close, and it's like looking at him out of the side of its eyes and it's popping its teeth together, and foaming at the
just
mouth.
doing with its lips.
No, it's like grinding its teeth, like his teeth were popping, and he's like looking at him sideways, like that fucking bear is ready to tear someone's ass. And he kept saying like, "I don't want to shoot you," which I probably didn't. Like I wouldn't want to shoot.
No, yeah.
But
you got a pistol in it, you're gonna kill it though, right?
I'd want to have extra. I'd want to have like a fucking magazine like you have, like a 30
33 rounder. Tick, 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 tick. And even then,
I want to be able to climb through the hole after I.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
Do you know how thick? A hippopotamus's skin is? 10 millimeters.
Wait a minute, that's fucking.
That's thick.
Euro trash measurements.
I don't know what that is. I just watched a video. Well, I don't know. Nora and I were watching a video of lions trying to take a whole pack of lions trying to take down a hippopotamus, and they got fucked up. I mean, he's just carrying them around on his back, running around, and then bit one on its head. This hippo bit one on its head.
I'd hate to get
Man,
eaten by a hippo because it looks like your mouth.
He just went
butthole.
Just smashed his head, crushed it like a grape. Squashed like grape.
All right. I guess a good role model to have would be what's his name from Mind Your Top Knot.
Oh, Robert Redford.
Yeah,
but
before he had, dude, everything's butthole tonight. Butthole lips.
Back whenever he was
What's that movie called?
Jeremiah Johnson.
Yeah,
that would yes.
So they're.
I mean, you'd be
yeah. All right, so this next article is from HuffingtonPost.com. It's titled "Hilarious PSA Tackles the Controversy Over Straight People and Gay Bars."
You ever been to a gay bar?
I don't think so.
I have. I've been to a gay bar before.
There's a bar when I was stationed in Guam that I went to that someone told me it was a gay bar after I was there, but I don't think it was.
I went to a gay bar with my ex-wife. Her and her friends go there to sing karaoke, and
it's got good karaoke.
And it's I mean, yeah, gay guys probably
Good
sing
song.
the shit out of some karaoke, but it was like a feeding frenzy when I fucking went in there. And it's like just a challenge, right? You know, they're just fucking with you. No, it wasn't fun.
Okay, so recently, several thought pieces and Twitter threads have been out about whether it is or isn't problematic for non-queer people to visit and enjoy queer spaces.
What?
Yeah. In this short clip, this is, I guess, a funny video. I didn't watch the video. This Henry guy finds himself riding home from a night at the bar when he comes face to face with two straight people who want to know why they shouldn't be free to visit gay bars too. Henry responds to their claims with humor and wit, making some really important points about community and privilege. He said, I wanted to make this video because I love straight people. I do, but so many are clueless to the fact that gay bars and clubs are more than just a place for us to get a vodka soda. The comedian says the video was made very much in response to the Out.com article where a woman was very adamant about being included in the gay male scene and wanted to use it to give her some kind of rules.
I like where you're going here.
So the end of it says, I would love for the takeaway to be that gay people love women and straight people. He said, just know that these bars and clubs do belong to us. LGBTQ people
Can you imagine?
have the feeling that the rest of the world belongs to straight people, so we're very protective over our venues. We would love to have you there. Just be smart and follow my rules. LOL.
Oh, shit.
So when I read this,
Yeah.
so wouldn't you think that a straight person would think that that's their bar or whatever, and the unstraight bars belong to someone else?
Ooh.
So if you come here, just be cool and follow my rules. But that's fucking discriminatory, right?
Yeah.
Like if you said,
I mean,
don't be
I'm,
gay in here.
I'm completely cool with that all the way around, right? Like I'm completely cool but because obviously I don't buy into the whole like whatever you want to do, fuck it, then that's fine. But yeah, could you imagine if the shoe were on the other foot?
No. It blows my mind how people can't see this when in their
The
argument.
hypocrisy
Yeah,
in their own argument.
Like, hey,
It-
man,
it goes back
this
to-
this is a gay club.
Mhm.
Just you can come here, just be cool, and follow my rules. Like, hey, man, this is a straight club. It's fine that you come here. Just be cool and follow my rules.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably a pretty decent argument, right? Like if both sides did it, like just be cool. Don't fucking
Be perfect.
wear assless chaps or whatever. Don't be fucking
Yeah.
doing whatever. I don't even know how you would find out unless there's some weird shit going on, but one side can say this and one side can't is what I don't get.
Right. In this world, it can't. In my world, it happens. But my world doesn't exist.
What?
I'm just saying. In my world, it's fine. Fuck yeah. You could. In my world, if you want to discriminate against fucking.
Whoever.
Yeah, whoever. You're free to do it. Because it's just fucking you out of money, right? Out of revenue.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want fat people in your bar, I don't want fat people in there. I've said this story on here before, but there was I used to work for this guy. He was like a former merchant marine sea captain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was real eclectic, but he was and real opinionated, right?
Every time I hear the word eclectic, I think of that song on the Blade soundtrack where who was that rapper? He says eclectic in that rap.
Oh, well, you know what eclectic means, right?
Yeah, kind of. Anyway, go on.
What does it mean?
Like fancy?
Kind of.
Smarty pants?
I'm
I'm going to find out what rap that is.
and find out what the exact definition of eclectic is. I think that it's like kind of Andy Warholish, but, real weird or real specific tastes, right?
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. I'll tell you after this.
Okay, so anyways, and he was very very much a perfectionist. And I was down there washing dishes, right? And the food was really good there, right? It was excellent. And the place was set up exactly the way he wanted it. had its, very artistic but very still rustic kind of, it was centered around the idea of gold and lead being the home state gold mine, and it had a giant stuffed grizzly in it, right? Anyways,
Mystical. That's who said eclectic.
mystical.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that. But anyways,
I'm ruining your story.
yeah, it's okay. Anyway, so this guy, there were some people that came in, right?
Yeah.
And they smelled like patchouli. He says, "Get the fuck out of my restaurant." He's like,
in Oregon?
"No, this was in Deadwood. I was like 13."
Oh.
And I could hear him. He says, "Get the fuck out of my restaurant." And I came running upstairs, and he goes, I don't allow your kind in here." It was a bunch of white people in like flannels.
Patchouli?
Yeah, and I
That'd
was
be
like,
fucked.
"What?" After they left, because they were completely like dumbfounded, right? And after they left, I was like, "Well, what was that, Dan? What was that about?" And he says, "They're fucking hippies." that was it. But the fact of the matter is that he had the discriminatory power to say that, like,
Yeah.
but it only worked because they were white, right? Like, what if it would have been like brown folks? He said, "Get the fuck out of here! I don't allow your kind in here."
Well, I
You
don't
know
know
what I
when when was it? Like at the
Like 1988, maybe 87.
It might have been allowed then. I don't know. I was 7 years old at that point in time. So.
But what I'm saying is, it should be allowed. If you own a business, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want to do. And guess what? You're fucked if you make mistakes, right? Like, you don't want to allow gay people in your place of business. Don't allow gay people in there. You don't want to allow white people in your business. Don't allow white people in there. Don't want to allow Mexicans in there. Don't allow Mexicans in there. If you don't want to allow three-eyed,
I'm going to start a business and not allow anybody there.
perfect. Nobody is allowed in here. You know what I mean?
What kind of business is this? I sell things.
But not to you.
Not to your kind, buddy. Hit the fucking bricks. You know how many people be waiting to get in there? Like, I deserve to be in here. You don't even know what the fuck I'm selling.
I think
You
it's
can't
genius.
discriminate against me. Like, bullshit.
Hit the fucking road.
Yeah. Get out of here. Then you get in there. What are you selling? Fucking fidget spinners. Want one?
Fuck
You had to sue me to get in here. I've been on the news so many times. I know. Feet touching. Fucking gross.
It's because you're invading my space over here.
This is the most uncomfortable chair in the world.
I know. I gave it to you.
It's got a rattan back.
I gave you the fucked up camera and a terrible.
My lips are chapped. The seat's uncomfortable.
My lips are chapped.
Hey, don't drink all this tea.
All right.
This next one comes from foxnews.com. Houston father. How am I supposed to get 5 small children up on my roof? So, Hurricane Harvey hit Dallas.
Harvey
Texas.
creating a path of destruction that is
Is that you or me?
Me. Go ahead.
Yeah, my computer won't play that shit. It's frying, just trying to keep the page up. So, Hurricane Harvey hit the Texas coast.
Uh huh.
Was that mine?
That was yours.
See? That sounds like Chinese. Anyway, so, I guess the death toll's up to 20. There's tons of destruction. It was a Category 4 storm, and it hit, and you start reading articles. There's articles talking about why wasn't the, call to not retreat,
Evacuate.
evacuate.
Retreat.
Exfoliate.
Exfoliate.
Why weren't there any calls to
Exfoliate.
evacuate? Yeah, exfoliate and all this. And they said, Hurricane
Harvey.
No. The one
Katrina.
before that. There's a different one that came up before that.
Where?
Texas, and they told everyone to evacuate.
Iniki, Hurricane Iniki. That's all
my
yours.
computer just
Why does it
randomly
just randomly play stuff?
Anyway, so they told everyone to evacuate, and the storm died out. And in the meantime, like over 100 people died on the freeways and shit trying to get out because the roads were jammed up with all those people. Right?
Allison.
Yeah. So I'm reading this article, and it's a bad deal. Like I've got a couple. A guy that listens to the podcast. He's down there. Yeah. A couple of my friends are down there. I've been texting him. He's trying to get out to help other people. A lot of. My own soundboard. I didn't have to do anything. So people are trying to help each other out, but like I said, there's these articles. Like Donald Trump visited Houston too early, and his wife's got high heels on, and why didn't the government call for evacuation before, and what are they doing to help, and what this and that, and this guy, like this article here, this is Houston father. This article says, please, I'm going to read part of this because it says, please pray for Houston. Growing up in Kansas within Tornado Alley and living through the Sandy superstorm in Halifax, Nova Scotia would lead me to believe that there were... I don't know if this is going to let me go. It's not going to let me move it. All right, I'm not going to read it. So this is like a once in a 500-year situation.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we're sheltering in place as of Sunday afternoon. They're being advised that 2 more feet of rain are possible because the storm system isn't moving. Like, it's the amount of rain that this thing's dropped is unbelievable.
Right. Like.
So basically, this gets down. He's talking about how bad it is and how there's tornado warnings, and they're going from the closet to out of the closet, trying to monitor the storm, doing all this, and when their house starts flooding, they are telling them to get to the roof of your house, and his response is, how am I supposed to get 5 small children up on my roof? And I immediately thought, like,
that's what you thought. Oh boy!
I did think, oh boy, because if I had 5 small children, and I was gonna stay in my house and during a hurricane, I would have a plan in place in case something like that were to occur.
Right.
I wouldn't sit there and wait until, like, hey, what happens if the house flooded? Well, fuck, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Or what happens if the house blows over? Well, fuck, I didn't think of that. Number one, I probably wouldn't be staying there with 5 kids. I mean, just to be truthful, I'd get the kids out of there, right?
Right.
I have no idea what's going on over here.
It's fine.
But
you deserve
it. I'm not grasping how everyone is wanting to wait on the government or someone else or some person or some role model or some actor to tell them, like, hey, you should have like a plan in place in case
Sean Penn needs to be paddling that canoe through there.
Before something, like, if you live, like, we live in Tornado Alley, right? Like, do you know what you would do? I mean, you don't know exactly what you do.
No, but you got a good idea. Like, I mean, obviously, how the fuck do I get kids on top of my roof? I know how to do it.
Yeah, if you had to, right?
Yeah. If if tornado comes through, what do I do? I have my spot. We've got it.
I'm not grasping the waiting on the government. And a lot of people make fun of, like, people like us or our listeners that say, oh, you're crazy, you're a militia guy because you survival stuff or this and that. Like, what is wrong with having something that you may or may not ever use ready to go in case you need it? Like, how hard would it be if they said, hey, you got to get out of Tulsa right now? Like, all right, let me grab this, hop in here, we're out of here. You know what I mean? Where are we going? We're going to go here? Okay, we'll camp. We'll sleep in tents or, whatever.
It's the whole mentality that we've said this on this podcast a number of times, but the pioneer spirit, or whatever you want to call that, is dead. And I don't say that in everybody, right? Like, it's not dead in all of mankind, but whenever you see stuff like this, it's exposed, right? It's exposed that it's gone in a majority of people. And the reason that it's been killed is because of the state. It's been killed because of the state. The state essentially wants you to become their god, right? Like, just think about, like, here's the deal. Go back in old times, right?
Yeah.
When things got tough, who did people rely on? Right? They relied on themselves, or they did what? They prayed to God, right, to save them. Right?
Dude, we got a Channel 27 to send us a bunch of watchers.
The Watchers?
Yeah.
The Watchers. Well, okay.
So welcome.
Thank you. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, so who did you rely on? You
So-
relied on yourself.
Right, or they prayed to their God, right? Save us, O Lord, blah, 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 right? All these people are save us, O Lord state. That's what's happened, is that there's no more like, fucking got to do this myself, right? Like, pull myself out of here and say, look, now they have, their faith is actually in this entity, this deity that they've created, that's their God. And so the pioneer spirit is dead, dude. It's dead. And it saddens me to see this happen and to see what happens to mankind, but it's inevitable. Soon you'll be merged with that computer, and you'll be your control of your own world. Yeah,
Interesting.
you'll be your own God. You're gonna live forever in the machine.
So it'll be 2:40. I'll be able to witness another solar eclipse.
Yeah,
So
you'll be able. Yeah,
Be a fucking brain like on Dr. Evil, beginning Aqua Teen Hunger Force, shooting tacos out of my mouth.
I agree.
All right, so here's another Huffington Post, Houston evacuation order. I was basically the same thing we just said. Like,
Yes, I agree. Not
Texas-
everyone is. I hate that term, sheeple, but
Texas
I don't
officials,
agree with that, yeah.
someone put, face it, folks are stupid. Like, yeah, we just talked about people putting sunblock on their eyes to watch the fucking eclipse. So, Texas officials spar over hurricane evacuation order, hurricane evacuation order that never happened.
what are you doing? Where are you?
Who,
Oh.
me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Sparring between state and local officials over Hurricane Harvey evacuation plans has confused residents in the storm's path. So, I mean, think about that too. Like hurricanes. I mean, what do you gain by hanging out?
In a hurricane?
Yeah, just
Fucking
hoping it doesn't happen.
Badass surfing.
I went through Hurricane Georges,
Uh-huh.
and they relocated us inland from when I was in Florida.
Yeah.
And I just remember being. I mean, it was
Lots of rain.
lots of rain. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I was in a typhoon.
I mean, it wasn't a Category 4 storm, so.
I was in a typhoon in Korea. It was a fuck ton of rain, and I go shower here's the deal: is that it blew over all of the shower. They had these giant water balloons. This is actually a pretty good story. All right, so it blew over all these showers, or the showers where you go and get clean, right? And we were staying in a
The YouTube video says they're
Huh?
quiet.
quiet.
Yeah.
Well,
Blowing a shower over. Keep going.
I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, we don't know how to fix it.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know how to fix it, actually. All right. You need to stop mumbling. All right, here you go. You ready? So blows over this whole shower, right? And so we don't have any place to shower. We're staying in these, it's kind of like a PR mission. We're actually simulating war between North Korea and South Korea. And I was an infantryman, so I was like there to move in these 6-man teams, and they would move us around like we're in the DMZ, whatever, right? Like, but it was all simulated. So then we would have time off. Well,
Korea have good Korean food?
yeah, it has some fucking weird Korean food. Like, it's not like you're you know how you get your fried meat and your rice. You're sidetracking me.
Okay.
All right, I'll get back
Get
to
chicken
it.
feet?
You can get. I didn't have chicken feet, but I did have an octopus in a bowl of cold ramen noodles. So ramen noodles were sitting in a bowl of ice with an octopus on it, and then a raw egg cracked on top of it.
Yeah, they're fucking with you.
Yeah, it probably was. I ate it. But so this blows this whole thing. It blows all the showers over, and bad rainstorm. But I hadn't had a shower like in 3 days, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go outside and stand under the rain gutter, right, where it's coming down."
Mm-hmm.
So I got my PTs on, and I'm showering. And there's these people that were standing under this other area, when they're smoking. So it was probably about 30 people out there smoking under this one area, and I was across from them, and I was scrubbing up, just in the rain, and then I go walk under the rain gutter.
Yeah.
Fucking blew my shorts off of me. Blew them all the way off of me, like all the way to the out of the knocked me over. Fucking soap in my eyes. Got it all. I was running all over the place, buck naked, people laughing and shit. Over there.
Your pants blow away? Like couldn't
I
get 'em?
I got them, but I mean, I was
say.
buck naked. I was like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
Put them back on.
Laughed.
Laughed.
One of the guys that got sent over from Channel 27 is asking if we lean left or right.
I
I don't know how to answer that, man, because
we're
I swing both ways. There's stuff I don't agree with on both sides.
That's
and
right.
stuff
I think
agree with on both sides.
both sides are fucked up because I don't play that. I'm not in that ball game, that left-right paradigm. And that sounds like a band. You know what I mean? Like whenever people are like, "Oh, who do you guys sound like?" Man, we don't really sound like anybody. You know that whole idea. Like, you probably don't know, but people would ask us all the time when we play, like, "Who do you guys sound like? Like what kind of music do you sound? Is it within metal? Like, oh, what do you guys sound like? A Kill Switch Engage, or do you guys sound like As I Lay Dying?" Well, man, we really kind of just sound like our own selves. That's us. It's podcast. We don't.
Anytime someone asks me, like, are you Republican or Democrat? Like, I don't know, dude. I don't think I'm any of those. I don't think I'm independent. I don't know what the hell I am. Like, I just want to be left alone and leave everyone else alone. So that answers that. That's all I got to say about that. The article about...
They asked Elvis what? Somebody says they asked Elvis. Oh, he said, "I don't sound like nobody." He kind of was... That's probably true.
Who, Elvis?
Yeah.
Sounded like Danzig. Elvis copied Danzig's tune and somewhat of his looks. I fucking hate Elvis music.
But you love Danzig.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
No, Danzig.
It's not even great. Like
I can't believe you
Elvis.
hate Danzig.
I don't hate Danzig. I don't hate Danzig.
Everyone thinks Danzig sings one song, and that's "Mother." That's the only song.
No, I know the other songs. So we toured with a band where the lead singer of that band was like...
I'm going to start a Danzig
loved
tribute
Danzig.
band.
Loved Danzig. He knew Danzig personally. Hung out with Danzig.
Danzig looks like an asshole.
I mean, he might not be, though. Like if you was his friend.
He's got cat litter.
That picture cracks me up. All right, what's next?
It's play a commercial.
Another commercial.
And then
we're gonna lose all these YouTube listeners with their commercial.
All right, YouTube, we got a commercial and you won't hear shit because we do this in the spare time.
You gotta do this if you're on YouTube and you want to listen just to the audio with the better show, then you need to check out our Libsyn. I'm not playing a commercial. Just say the commercial.
Oh, email us xbearheadx@yahoo.com.
There you go.
Check us out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Soundcatcher,
Stitcher,
podcast,
TuneIn Radio,
anything, Facebook,
listen,
Google search,
just Google search,
and leave a ton of
perfect, well
Yelp
done
reviews about the podcast,
Yelp,
so that we can get more. The more reviews we get, apparently, the better it is for us somehow. So, and thus far, we've gained nothing from telling people to leave.
Yeah,
I think every review I found, I'm like, ooh, someone left a review, and I think it's one I fucking wrote. Forgot I wrote it.
Okay, I do have something that I want to talk about before we get into this next one, okay? Because it's coming up soon.
Metallica or Megadeth?
No. It has to do with...
Someone's asking.
What? Metallica or Megadeth isn't coming up soon, are they?
Depends on the year.
What are you talking about?
One of the comments.
That we sound like? We don't sound like either.
I think they're saying, which one do you like better?
Oh, shit. It's Metallica early. Early Metallica blows...
Early Metallica sounds a little bit like Slayer.
Early Metallica...
Without noisy.
But your timing is off. Like, early Metallica was before Slayer.
Yeah, but they sound like copied their sound.
And do you know that that Dave Mustaine actually was in Metallica? The guy from Megadeth. They kicked his ass out.
Wait, who's Dave Mustaine look like? Looks like Vladimir Putin. That's who Dave Mustaine is actually, Vladimir Putin.
That could be.
Head shape.
Oh, who do I prefer? Mid-90s? No. It's just people that are listening on Libsyn, they don't know what we're talking about. People are asking us if
No
we
one
prefer.
understands what we fucking talk about anyway. Mid-90s, I'm all about Pantera. All the way.
Yeah,
All the way.
Pantera for sure.
Yeah. What were you saying? All right, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So it's coming up. Here's the deal. And if this guy Jeff Dougherty, who's he said, "Oh, can I take my sub back?" This guy Jeff Dougherty, who's one of the people that subbed to us just now. He's a what does it say? What does it say? He's a Christian guy, right? Maybe Christian whistleblower. So maybe he's got something about this. Here we go. I want to talk about this.
Christian whistleblower.
I'm not exactly. He's blowing the
Joel
whistle on
Osteen?
God.
Joel Osteen.
You turkey.
Gotcha.
No. All right. So this is it's actually. I hope we probably already offended him.
Yeah.
Right.
Done.
Done.
Unsubscribe.
All right. So here's the deal, and it's all about fear, right? But I want to bring this up. So there's this thing that's going. It's crazy right now, and there's September 23rd, 2017, right?
Oh fuck! Is the world ending?
Yes,
That's the day after my anniversary.
At least you're gonna get some ass, likely, right? You will get some on your anniversary. I got my fingers crossed for you. So yeah, so September 23rd. Guess what happens? So Virgo is gonna give birth to Jupiter, right? And it's gonna have.
Who's Virgo? The constellation?
Yeah, Virgo's gonna. Yes. So she's clothed in the sun, right? The moon is at her feet, and there are 12 stars or 12. What the fuck is it? 12 stars at her. Yeah, this is exactly it. This is exactly it. So there are 12 stars at her head, and Jupiter will pass through her womb, and she'll give birth, right? Yeah. So this is iPet goat stuff, right? Here's the deal, is that according to YouTube specialists, right, this has never happened again. So, yeah, crowned with 12 stars. That's exactly it. Thanks, Jeff. So, crowned with 12 stars. Revelation 12 is the scripture, right? So, if you want to look up Revelation 12, well, I'll do it.
You're going to keep talking about what
yeah,
you're talking
keep
about?
talking.
I have no
So,
idea what you're talking about.
That's right. Just talk about stars. Come on. Just talk about something. Revelation 12. All right, so the 12th chapter of the book of Revelation. Here we go. The woman and the dragon, right? Here we go. A great sign appeared in the heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on its head. This isn't even, I don't know how many that. Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth, so that it might devour her child the moment it was born. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. And her child was snatched up to God and to his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness to the place prepared for her by God, where she might be taken care of for 1,260 days. So, all right, here's the deal. So the 12 stars on her head. So they're saying that this doesn't happen in space,
not
right?
Going to happen in our lifetime.
Yeah, it's happened a number of times, right? No, don't be done, Jeff. Keep going. Anyways, so it's supposedly about the rapture. It's supposedly about the beginning of the end, right? and it has to do with, they talk about how every Jubilee year, or every 50 years is a Jubilee year. Oh man, I'm doing a terrible job. But what I want to do is I want to, hopefully somebody out here knows, right? And we can get them on as a guest before September 23rd. I want to talk about this.
So it's the end of the world?
Well, it's the beginning of the end, right? Like it's the rapture, right?
This will be the third one I've been through.
I know, man. We're barely making it. We're hobbling through. But so he wrote an ebook. So this guy we need to get on the show.
Who?
This Jeff guy. He said he's in.
In capital in.
Yeah. So maybe
Balls deep.
next week. Will you come on next week? Next Tuesday?
So
We'll go on his. He says he wants us on his channel.
all right.
I don't know if it's he's an ex-Christian whistleblower. He must be, maybe he does blow the whistle on like Joel Osteen, Billy Graham.
Joel Osteen didn't need the whistle blown on him.
No.
The guy is like millions.
Did you read that article about him? How true is that? Where he's like, nope, we're not going to let him in our church.
All right, he said he didn't let him in, and then he said, "Well, I didn't let him in because no one asked." I don't. I mean, the guy can do what he wants. I guess.
Yeah, I get it.
But I don't like him I don't trust him. Reminds me of someone that'd steal your money. I mean, obviously, but
Well, yeah.
I was trying to find while you're talking that Cradle of Filth song about Michael and his angels fought against the dragon.
You know I'm named after him.
Who?
Michael.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know. I don't know if that's probably not a good thing. That just means that I don't question God at all, right? Like what is that's not a good thing, right? Like not to question God. Wouldn't you think that it's a good thing to question him on a daily basis?
Every time we start talking about this, that makes me think I'm going to hell.
You start getting scared, don't you?
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you right now, like what God do you believe in?
Me?
Yeah.
God.
If you believe in the Christian God, then you can't. You're not going to go to hell for questioning him. That'd be absurd, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I can't find what I was looking for. There's a
Let's
Cradle
go.
of Filth song that starts out with that Michael and his angels fighting
The
dragon.
long story.
Yeah.
That's a great. It's not Cradle of Filth, is it?
It's on the beginning of that Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon.
That's
fought,
that's the
and
next.
His angels prevailed not.
Yeah.
Neither was their place found anymore in heaven, and that great dragon was cast out. That old serpent they call the devil and Satan, who deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out to the world, and his angels were cast out with him.
That's it.
It's pretty good.
That was a good
right?
impersonation. Take down this email address, or here, I'll email him. All right, we need to step. What's next?
High Point Bobby. High Point Bobby. All right, so DickTarian.
Hey, who is High Point Bobby?
I don't know. My fucking hip hurts. So we got DickTarian music. We're gonna.
Yeah. We got DickTarian music. Let me compose this email. What's wrong with you?
My hip hurts. This is kind of funny. From the HuffingtonPost.com. Says trans activist confronts Caitlyn Jenner. Quote, "You're a fucking fraud." The incident happened at a trans chorus of LA event. So transgender activist Ashley Marie Preston confronted Caitlyn Jenner at a trans chorus of LA event over the weekend in a now viral video. Preston was furious that Jenner, whom she believes committed the ultimate betrayal of the LGBTQ community by supporting President Donald Trump, was at the event and called out the trans chorus as complicit for accepting the reality star's money. So Preston, who serves as editor-in-chief of Wear Your Voice magazine, used her FaceTime with Jenner to critique her support of the president, particularly after his enactment of the transgender military ban. And Jenner was spotted wearing a Make America Great Again hat just days after the ban was announced. This Preston called Jenner a fucking fraud. It's really fucked up that you contribute to somebody that does everything with the military and that's erasing our fucking community, and you support it. So if you did you watch this video?
Mm-mm.
Dude,
Can we put it on there?
Caitlyn Jenner almost turned into a man in this video.
Let's put it over here. I think we can play it.
Can we? It's not that one. Go down.
Oh.
No. All right. Pause. There. This one.
It says unavailable.
Refresh.
Oh, okay.
Dude, the internet. Yeah, here. Watch this. Caitlyn Jenner almost like, oh, hey, what, honey? Is there no sound?
No.
About to be a
Oh, yeah.
brush the nose. Can you imagine what that place would be like if a fist fight broke out?
Be hilarious.
And you support it. That's not. Sir, I need you to that's not community. That's not community. That's not community. And what makes me mad is I supported you when so many people said I didn't support you. No, we don't, Dina. We are complicit. Taking her money and doing all that, it makes us complicit. And it goes against the mission.
I thought at first, it's like, there's going to be a fist fight.
How are we going to fight anyone if she's giving money to the people that are destroying us? That's no, it's not. No, it's not, because we have separate.
You ever see that video? It's got to be fake. But that dude is dressed up like a woman, and someone tries to steal his purse or her purse, and he like fucking comes out of character and is like, "I'll fucking break your nose."
I like yeah, you just said there.
I'm telling you,
Pretty
man.
committed.
He's
got tits.
Yeah, he's got tits, and he wasn't having that. He got a little, or she got pissed off.
Does Caitlyn have balls still?
I don't know.
I don't think so, right?
How do you?
No, I mean we've had a transgendered
man, woman. Is it transgender woman or man?
How does it go when they go back or not go back? Like she was a dude, then she's a girl now. Do you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I don't know. We had a transgender person here, but I don't know what.
I don't know how you go that way. Like,
wait, yeah. She didn't have nuts.
No, she was like full meal deal.
Yeah,
we didn't see.
Didn't ask her if Caitlyn Jenner had nuts though.
I don't think that Caitlyn Jenner was out at that
Seemed like
point.
it'd be pointless to get tits if you're not going to cut your nuts off.
I mean, yeah.
You going all in or just part way? Part way, Doc.
Just half, huh?
Still like those nuts.
So Charles says that it's got both. She's got both. I mean, that's like the lady boys in Thailand, right?
Yeah, it exists.
Are those lady boys just lady boys because they don't have the money to go the whole, you know?
I don't know. I always wanted. They had a lot of those in Guam like that.
Yeah, they're called mahus in Hawaii. Mahus, but you know where that came from?
No.
Yeah, so the idea of a mahu was it was an island in the middle of the Pacific somewhere where raiders would, I think Maori warriors would might not be Maori warriors. Somebody would come through and kill the firstborn male. They would kill all the males, right? And so what they did was they dressed the boys up as little girls and raised them as little girls. And so then they be giant, big ass women.
About to fight over
in
a club in Los Angeles. Dude, I'm telling you, if fists started flying, I don't think a lot of those women don't like they would run off. Like,
So,
like, oh fuck yeah, come on,
it's been a while.
the fucking run the whatever. And
Here's a question for you. All right. So what if people just called you? What if people called you a woman? Like I refuse to call you a man. Like,
well, so
would it hurt you?
No,
You
I
wouldn't
would
give a
think
fuck, right?
People let labels hurt them,
Right.
give them too much power over themselves. But I watched a video the other day that was it was on the Huffington Post talked about, and the intro was this I guess it was a lesbian woman or a transgender dude. I really didn't know, and
Wait a minute. You fucking me up again. Am I transgender dude or a lesbian woman?
yeah, I
You mean it was
I
a
think
guy
it was
that tried that?
I think it was a lesbian woman. But
Was there chain wallets involved?
no. So they were talking about this video, and
Uh-huh.
it was talking about how you go through and anyway, it's kind of like what you're saying. Like, how do you like when you introduce yourself to someone, you say, how do you want to be identified? And this lady said, I identify with the pronouns she and her. And these people were talking to each other like this. And like, really, like, so if you know, well, hey, I'm Nick. I identify as he and him.
Okay.
It seems like a lot to fucking.
What do you
I
mean?
can't
Like, you
remember people's
know,
names.
Like, but I would call you he or him. I'd be like, yeah, Nick,
but I mean,
he.
if I identified with something else, I would prefer you to call me she or Rod or she or
Rod?
she or her or whatever, right?
Oh, so
So there's like this.
Nick, but Nick is a her.
Yeah, you confusing me now. That's what I was trying to say, but
I'm confused. I'm trying to say, like, it wouldn't matter, right? Like, some whatever. Be like, no, dude.
if someone called me that,
yeah, like,
I don't give a shit.
like I know, because so many people get wrapped up in that like, but there is something to it, right? There is something to that, and it's the hijacking, or I don't know if it is, but it's the hijacking of definitions, or the hijacking of the language to eliminate any absolutes, right? Like, the whole idea is there's got to be things out there, like, we fucking call a gorilla because it's a gorilla, right?
Yes.
You don't be like, it's an anteater. Everybody be like, the fucking anteater where, right? And so we do that. But if I was out there misidentifying animals, you would be like, no, dude, that's definitely is not a possum. That's clearly a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Right? But if I were doing it intentionally for to blur the line, right? And then you promote it as this is how it has to be, right? Like, then it becomes some fucking dystopian 1984 stuff, right? Like, then you're like, oh no, I'm changing the whole definition, the nature of language.
Well, there's people now that say that they float from gender to gender. Like,
they're fluid, right?
Today I'm a man. Tomorrow I'm a
But I don't
woman.
care about them naturally. I'm just saying on the overall, like, I don't care if you fucking want to say whatever. It's just a matter of then. It goes back to what we talked about the other day about the 6-year-old, or that guy who's like, I identify as a 6-year-old girl, right? Like, if you don't give him an audience, who the fuck cares, right?
Yeah.
Like if you don't say, oh yeah, he's a 6-year-old girl now, and then people take him in, you know, and then they lift it up and they put it on the news and all that bullshit. If you didn't give him an audience, it's just like that gay pride parade.
Can you imagine hanging out with someone that was gender fluid? Like, hey, dude, you want to go?
I wouldn't.
You want to go camping?
I likely wouldn't, right?
No, not today. Let's go shopping. Like, oh, fuck. Are you a woman today?
When did this happen?
All right, let's go shopping. Like, all right, so we're going shopping. Like, oop, I'm a man again. Like, for fuck's sake, dude, just stick to one or the other for a little bit. Like, I'm getting real fucking tired of trying to keep up with everything.
Now imagine you get two of those together and they're married.
That's what's happening on September 23rd. That'll just end the universe. Like, Like fucking worlds are colliding. I
It's
can't even
It's
imagine.
like Marty McFly trying to exist
I can't even
multiple
it's
realms.
Like
If they
putting a-
touch each other,
putting
they're
a magnet
fucked.
north to north. It's not happening. Like they're just sit there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It'd be like
That's exactly what it would be.
infinite source of power because they're just like
It's perpetuating.
man, woman. All right. So I don't have anything else.
Is that it?
Yeah, DickTarian, fucking Caitlyn Jenner about to fight. Would you watch Caitlyn Jenner box pretty boy Floyd Mayweather?
Fuck yeah, I would watch that.
I think that would get more money than the McGregor fight. Caitlyn Jenner versus Floyd Mayweather.
As big as, like, is it a boxing match or is it just full on brawl?
Boxing. I bet Caitlyn Jenner can throw some fucking long punches, man.
She'd get fucked
She's
up
like
by
8
Floyd
feet
though.
tall.
She is big, but she'd get fucked up by Floyd. But if it was a full on brawl,
It's like bar fighting,
yeah,
man yelling.
I think then it would be some.
She carry around Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, just pick him up. I mean, get tagged a few times. Get bee stung. So did you watch the McGregor Mayweather fight?
No, I tried to watch illegal streams of it on YouTube.
I did. I watched it.
Is it good? Boxing's boring unless someone's gonna get like
So
especially featherweight or what weight were they?
155.
154.
Yeah. So you know what happened? They both did exactly what they said they were going to do as best they could do it, right? And homeboy went out there, hit him with as much.
McGregor.
Yeah, McGregor went out there, hit Mayweather as much as he possibly could. I think Mayweather figured out what needed to happen. I'm going to tell you this now, and I'm not really a fan of either, right? But I'm going to tell you this. When I was watching it in round 8, fucking Floyd got hit with a body shot and went into the corner. It was irritating the shit out of me because he would turn his back to McGregor, and that would automatically allow him a free pass, right? Because the ref would come and break it up. I think number one, because they were hypersensitive to any kind of clinch, right? They didn't want any kind of clinch. And he would always turn his back to him. And you'd see it, this weird stance that McGregor had and the way the real strange boxing style that he had. He would get behind Mayweather. I mean, in my head, if you're behind a boxer, just fucking bam. This whole side of his face should be open. But Mayweather was smart. He'd do this, and then he would turn further away from him instead of turning into him, right? And so the ref would have to come in and stop it. Well, he got hit with so for the first probably 4 rounds, the aggressor, the guy who was most active definitely was McGregor. Around round 5, he started to tucker out a little bit, and Floyd was walking him down, doing exactly what he said. It was totally not what Floyd does, right? And then round 8, McGregor actually, I would say, won that round, and he hit Floyd with a body shot, got him into the corner, and the ref came over there and.
So you think it was rigged?
Man, I mean, so what would be the end result of it, right? What would be the end result to rig it, right? Would it be? You would obviously think that there would be a rematch, right? Mm-hmm. Because you'd want to make more money on the back end of it, not just. But then, if you think about it, was Floyd was he gonna make anything on another fight, like a
Caitlyn Jenner fight?
Yeah, I mean, he would have made a shit ton on a Caitlyn Jenner fight, but that wouldn't have been. That would have discredited him, right? But he had this one, nobody fucking cared about the last fight that he fought. Once he fought that Pacquiao fight where everybody stood around and watched him run around for, 12 rounds, just hit and run. Once that happened, people were like, I'm not buying another Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view. But he's smart, man. The dude's smart, and he was like, I'll take this fight with McGregor. Maybe so. Maybe it was just 100% rigged. Maybe I don't know. But it definitely wasn't. It wasn't a Floyd Mayweather fight.
Where'd you
in other
watch
words, Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Some
Hooters.
no Club 115. It was a place where my Army buddy was like, hey man, we can get in here. It's cheap and the girls can dance, right? Like, because they're not gonna watch this. So it was all right. He was drunk by then. And
No, I didn't watch it. I only watch boxing when it's on, like when it used to be on TV.
Yeah.
It comes on TV anymore. But
a lot of people say, "Oh, well, Floyd, that was his whole plan to lose rounds, to lose the first 4 rounds." Like, what the fuck you thinking? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, I understand.
purposely lose.
Like, well, I'll just be not active and I'll just be watching and trying to learn just to stay out of it. But that seems counterintuitive to me. Like, I'm just going to do this and let him tire himself out. Like, there were shots he was getting hit with. He didn't get hit. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, McGregor's got so much power, he's just going to knock him out. But that didn't happen, right? Even when he hit him with some of his best stuff or whatever, it didn't happen. But there were a few solid shots that were landed. And McGregor did land more punches, I think, per round than anybody ever has on Mayweather. That fact may not be 100% true, but I know that he landed more than Pacquiao landed. He landed more than Canelo Alvarez landed. That's pretty impressive for a guy that's supposedly not even going to land one punch, and then let alone win a round. He won like probably 4 rounds, I would say.
Can you understand what Conor McGregor's saying when he's talking?
No, fucking. Fook. No, that's all I hear.
Like, I watched his post-fight press conference, and he's like, Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's going to be it's good whiskey. I mean, I couldn't
all I hear is Little Italy.
Yeah, I couldn't understand anything he was saying, and I was like, I thought maybe it was the sound.
You have to understand.
My
wife is.
It looked like the sound wasn't jiving.
Oh, jiving with
the mouth movement. So I was like, oh, it's fucked up. So I started it over, and no, I couldn't understand what he was saying. I didn't know he talked that bad. I think unless he was drunk in the one I was watching. But I went to a wedding. My wife's gonna. I went to a wedding a few years back. And it was a Mexican and Irish wedding. And so the groom side was like, I mean, from Mexico, people were like 5 feet tall, and
little Mayans.
No one could speak English.
Ready to fucking have a blood sacrifice.
I was drunk as hell. I was in family pictures with these people and everything. And then the bride side was like, there were 2 people from Ireland there. So the bride side.
What?
Yeah. So the bride side is related to my wife, right? So I'm fucking, like I said, drunk. I'm talking to everyone. This is the same night that I woke up, the security guard kicking me in the hallway, at the hotel that we were sharing with their parents.
When was this?
This was years ago. And,
I remember this story.
Yeah. So I go to the bathroom, and it was the bride's grandparents that were from Ireland. And I swear to God, man, they were like 5 feet tall too. I mean, I felt huge. It was like, fucking, dude, I'm a man here, like.
I bet there would have been a lot of fighting going on whenever
There's not. I'm surprised no one fought me, but anyway, like, I talked to that guy, and I could not fucking understand a word he was saying, and I was in the bathroom, and I was drunk, so I was like, yeah, man, yep. And I mean, he was doing the same, like that Conor McGregor thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
We have to fucking in the bathrooms and around the house.
And when I think of what he looked like now, it reminds me of Bilbo Baggins from.
That's mean.
From
he was that little?
No, it wasn't that. Not the height wise, but the
hair, face. He had the white
He had
puffy
a
hair.
bald head and hair sticking out the side. So I was like,
I like it.
that was Bilbo Baggins, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, not the height. Yeah, he was short, but he wasn't.
Oh, you like fucking dogs?
But
Legs?
dude, I
Huh?
couldn't understand a fucking
Caravan.
word he was saying.
Ah.
He probably couldn't understand a word I was saying. I fucking mumbled so much and was drunk
Yeah.
as shit.
You guys are probably like, this guy was like, yeah, fucking can't understand him.
Anyway, all right. So
Where
reaching.
were we at? We're reaching for 5 minutes. Let's see.
Where were we at?
I thought we were talking about that fight.
Oh, that's over.
Yeah, it's over.
All right. So if you're a new listener,
We appreciate it.
yeah, we appreciate it. If you're an old listener, we appreciate you. Sticking. I feel like there's some diehard guys that we've got, guys and girls that we've had from the very beginning, right?
We have.
And then there's some guys that are diehard for a little bit, and then they trail off, and then
I think it's because
then they
it's
show
the
back
nature
up.
of us, right?
Well, it's because we find some way to offend someone.
We
I'm
do.
sure.
I think will offend everybody that subscribes to us at least once, right? But
If you're not offended by something, like
yeah, well, I mean, but that's the thing, right? Like, if I don't know how to explain that. If you're that easily offended, and you're not that,
I guess I get offended daily, but I don't.
yeah. But
I
the
don't
thing is
vocalize
like
when
you're
I
not. You might
bitch
get
about it.
you might get offended, right? But it doesn't mean that. Yeah, I don't know.
I
I don't
get
know.
offended, but
Fuck it.
fuck off.
What we do, we want to. I think we're getting a lot of people from Channel 27 and Heidi and Jenny Moonstone, and I want to, give them a solid thank you for that. And you should subscribe to their channel if you haven't yet, because they'll definitely confirm your porn tastes.
Doo-doo porn.
See, we're probably offending them right now because we're trying to make a joke out of it, but we're not really. Like, they know that we're not serious because they've read our futures and our pasts.
Yeah, we're only doing this for the money. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
So much
Every
money.
bit of it.
But yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So like we said, the diehard guys and girls that we've had from the beginning, we truly appreciate it. Like the emails, keep the emails coming, keep the messages coming. We like the interaction on the videos. Of course, the YouTube, for whatever reason, we don't get much shit on it, but it's growing, right? I guess a little. The podcast,
Yeah,
is
man.
mainly,
And it's mostly due to other people helping us out. So
the podcast
we just
has
appreciate
primarily been on all the podcast channels. That's where we've been this entire time. We just started doing videos. What?
Yeah.
I don't know, like 6 months ago or something?
6 months ago. So when we did the Adam Kokesh, Jay Dyer debate, that's whenever we started the videos. But yeah, if you want to find us, you find us generally on, what do I got, bugs? Got bugs. You find us on Libsyn, or you can just
Google
Spearhead
for fuck's
Podcast, spearheadpodcast.com, and then, or Spearhead Transmission. And if not, if here's the deal, dude, is that I fucking can't figure out how to get us. We've been doing this for 4 years and still things aren't working properly. Like on,
That's on my computer. It's the first thing to pop up.
yeah, but it's because it's your computer. Go on somebody else's computer. I don't know. What we need is computer genius to help us out. To come into my house and reconfigure a studio.
Dead air.
All right.
All right, so make sure you email us spearheadx@yahoo.com if you have any questions, concerns, show ideas, guest ideas, any of that. Working on new stickers. Gonna be play on the satellite intelligence community thing with the octopus saying no one's out of our reach, but it's gonna be a starfish. Kind of looks like a butthole.
I haven't seen it yet, have I?
It's gonna have possibly some skulls on it, and knives. I don't know. No, I haven't.
I like
drawn
it.
Parts of it. So, those will be coming. We get the stickers. We'll probably give a lot away for free, but at some point we need to start selling the fucking things.
There's T-shirts for sale too.
Oh.
Tons of them on
Tons of t-shirts. Where's
SpearheadPodcast.com.
that money going? I know we're selling T-shirts.
Well,
You buying shit for your house?
I'm fixing things up over here. And if you want to contribute to us, you can go to Patreon. But, that doesn't. We do have one guy. His name's Matt Sipe. Solid contributor. We appreciate it. You know what? I do want to say something. We have a variety of different listeners, right? Because we have so many different tastes.
Yeah.
Right. Our spectrums span so much, but that's what's beautiful about it, right? And we do offend. I guarantee we offend a lot of our friends that follow us, like from the run and gun side.
Well, that's what's hard to do. Is I'll be sitting there talking about something like, oh, dude, I know that this is pissing off so and so, that we hang out with or whatever, and then at the same time, but it's
that's who you are. So who cares?
Yeah.
Anyways, all right.
So
if you want us on your show, let us know. Send us an email at xspearheadx@yahoo.com.
Do full frontals.
Yeah, only nudes. And
thanks everyone for listening.
And we stretched out that 5 minutes. Well done.
All right.
Nuck.
Adios,
muchachos. Oh. Supposed to sub. Ball Steve.
All right, is this still going?
Yeah. I'm gonna just as the
duets. Duet.
Just as the podcast starts to take off, the end of the world happens. You ready? You done?